Hello and welcome everyone to another Anime Rambles. Today we're going to be talking about One Piece, a fantastic show that is spanning now over more than 1,000 chapters and getting close to 1,000 episodes if it's not there already. I've been slowly working my way through the arcs with the anime, which I know some people may have their own feelings about, but that's how I choose to consume the media. And what matters is we're all consuming the same story and we all can share something together. Okay, okay. Um, and I'm up at Dressrosa right now. And as we've been going through each arc one after another, I've noticed something that I want to talk about because I think it's a really smart thing that Oda does in these, mostly the earlier arcs, but it shows up in some of the later ones as well. And I feel like it's a really smart decision that he makes, and I wanted to talk about that. And that was the way he makes things feel earned without the characters having to quote unquote earn them. Now, that doesn't make a lot of sense, so I'm going to give examples. So, looking at the sagas and the story arcs in One Piece, let's start with the East Blue. So, as you see, oh my god, it's mirrored. So, over here, we have all the story arcs. And if I scroll down, this right on the One Piece wiki, we have the New World Saga. Anywho, starting in the east, we have oh, Romance Dawn, Orange Town, Syrup Village, Bratia, Arlong Park, Lode Town, um, Buggy's Crew Adventure Chronicles, and then a filler arc. Because filler arcs kind of suck. Anywho, in Romance Dawn, we have Luffy beating, oh god, what's her name? Alvida. I wish I was teching so I could remember everything. But we have Luffy beating Alvida, and this is mainly feels earned. It feels good because he is helping Kobe, and it's Kobe standing up for himself because he has history with Alvida. Now, with flashbacks and history of characters, Oda creates a scenario where in the story the characters come from almost nothing and they bring themselves up, and it's all building towards this one moment where it's just the final push forward. So everything feels really good when it happens, even though the One Piece cast is always on top. They're always pushing past in most of these early arcs. Another example, let's go to uh, Syrup Village. Well, actually, let's go arc by arc in East Blue. We'll start Orange Town, where Zoro is introduced. Now, Luffy shows up. He sees that Zoro has been starved for almost a month now, and this little girl gives him food. But what's important about this arc is the fact that Zoro has been there for a month, almost, just getting starved out. And then we have Axe Hand Morgan coming, and he's the big bad guy, and that's why Zoro doesn't want to just attack him and be done with it, because he knows the Marines will do something to the townspeople because he made this decision. So when Luffy comes in and fights Axe Hand Morgan and takes him down, it feels earned. It feels justified because we know how bad he is because of what happened in Zoro's past, in his backstory. It feels good. It feels earned. Moving on to Syrup Village, we have Usopp, and we have our protagonist, Kuro, of, I believe, the Black Cat Pirates. And he's got those razor claws. And again, Zoro is injured, or does he get lost in this arc? Probably a little bit of both. I think he was protecting Nami, and Nami like oil slicked him and got him in some trouble. But anywho, he gets basically taken out. So Oda in these early arcs, he likes to cripple some of the characters to give other characters a time to shine, which is smart because with a cast that's constantly growing, you need to give the members you have at the beginning time to shine, because when you add more characters later on, you're going to give them their own moments and fights to shine without dragging the arc way past its long time. This is a problem that Bleach has that One Piece does not have because they'll just pull certain characters out of situations in order to have other characters shine instead of throwing in every side character we ever met in every single fight, which is a great decision on Oda's part. In Syrup Village, we have Usopp, and we know his relationship with Kuro. We learn Kuro's backstory. We learn Kaya's backstory, how long he's been with them. And because we have Usopp and his backstory being pulled back to such a weakling, like always going with a back and forth with Kuro, we're not enemies. They don't like each other, but they still have like a mutual respect for each other. Um, what the hell's wrong with me? Um, Usopp. There we go. I don't know why I forgot one of the most prominent characters' names. Usopp sees Kuro as someone who takes care of Kaya, but is annoyed at him because he doesn't like Usopp. And Kuro sees Usopp as a minor nuisance, and he might get in the way. They are not antagonistic, but they don't like each other. And then because of their relationship in the past, you learn how much that this means to Usopp, how much Kaya means to Usopp, and how Kuro wants to take that away from him, which makes it feel really good when Luffy just powers right past him. Typically, the like with the hero's journey format, you want a call to adventure, you want the heroes to grow, you want them to have many losses at the beginning, but there's no real thing that hits the characters into the ground. They just keep moving up without being battered too much, and eventually you would feel like this is getting boring, like characters are just getting nerfed for too OP for their own world. But there's because of these backstories, because in their past they were weaker and they've pulled up now, it feels more earned. Which is why a couple of the arcs I want to talk about is we're probably not going to go through every single one of these because it would just simply take way too much time. But Arlong Park, where like any arc where it talks about a Straw Hat's backstory feels earned when the main antagonist of the arc gets immediately punched out by Luffy or the Straw Hat who's trying to push past their own past. So a great examples is Arlong Park, Syrup Village, Orange Town, again Romance Dawn, and then we move on to Chopper's arc on Drum Island, and then we move to where Robin really shines in Ennie's lobby. Frankie has sort of the same push forward in Ennie's lobby, and it makes it one of the best arcs in my opinion. In the previous saga, in Water 7, they spent most of the arc getting beaten down, pushed further and further. Uh, I wouldn't say pushed. I think my mic is peaking, so I'm going to turn down the volume just a tad. All right. They start to get pushed downwards. And they have a loss, but the loss doesn't seem definitive. It didn't seem like the people in CP I just 9 like absolutely pounded the hats out of oblivion. It felt a lot more like they rubbed up against each other and then one slipped away before the fight could fully conclude, which made it feel like instead of like, oh, the heroes lost and now they need to train or get better, it feels like they still have a chance at this victory. They can still push forward, especially with all the help that they get from the Frankie family and all the other people who help them move forward past where they came. Because of the tragic backstories of Frankie and Robin, it felt incredibly earned when Spondum basically got his shit rocked, and all of CP I just 9, uh, it's not it's I just 0 because it's Shield. Is it just CP9? I'm probably messing something up, but CP9 got one after another. Each member just dunk, 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 dunk. And sure, each fight was a hard battle for the member of Straw Hat who took on that member of CP9. but it was still a conclusive victory. But Straw Hats were still walking, and even like with this huge victory on their belt, it felt good. It felt earned, even though they've been powering through all these arcs without really like pushing into a training arc. Like, sure, Luffy came up with two new moves in this arc, with Gear Second and Third, but these weren't like, oh, the main character got beaten down. And this is him springing back up. This is him having a new idea and putting it into place. Um, based off what the antagonists were doing and just coming up with a new strategy to counter these antagonists. Same thing happened in Alabasta, where Luffy got pushed down, but instead of like going like, "Oh, I need a train," bang, 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 he came up with a strategy to take down Crocodile. So instead of like pushing the main characters down, it's they find a really nice way to push the characters up. But one time they pushed Luffy down was in the Summit War in Marineford because of how Ace he could did everything in his power, but he physically could not save Ace. He couldn't face the new world in the current condition that he was in, which is why he had that big thing where the two uh where it was the X over this what was it, a week? X over 7 days, and then it said 2Y because they wanted to train for 2 years, which is why it feels earned when they come to Fishman Island. They pretty much stomp everyone. The only pushback was Luffy had to fight in the ocean, which is a devil fruit user's weakness. But even so, he still pretty much definitively won. And then after that, we had Punk Hazard, where the backstories with most of the children, with Momonosuke, really felt earned when the Straw Hats came in and helped and pushed forward. Same thing with the little bit that we got from Law and what was his name? Virgo. Um, Yeah, with Dressrosa getting the backstory of the toy soldier felt like the story when our main characters came in. They came in at the end, right at that final push to victory, the final challenge. Um, I believe in the hero's journey, it's called entering the lair, entering the final cave, entering the den, something like that. It's the final push to prove the final boss battle. That's when our heroes come in. But this story has spanned years in the past, years, with the toy soldier Kiros being having so much history in Dressrosa, and Law having so much history in Dressrosa, and Doflamingo having so much history in Dressrosa. The Straw Hats are in these arcs are just plot tools to help the story move forward, and they will help the characters around them develop in the meantime. Luffy gets very little development in the story because he is a character that changes the world around him. There's two types of main characters. One that's dynamic and changes because of the world around him. He adapts and changes and pushes forward. Luffy is not that kind of character. He's the second type of character. He is a pillar in his world. He is one structured piece that doesn't change. But the characters who meet him have positive experiences and change because of what Luffy says and does around them. Because Lucy, well, he is Lucy in the Dressrosa arc, but Luffy is such a idealistic character that his presence in the story gives hope to the other characters. Because of what he does, the world around him gets shaped in new, interesting ways. Um, Characters can be done in both ways. For One Piece, I feel like it's a brilliant decision to have Luffy be this pillar. The only time we see him actually get some development, and it's not really development, it's just him training and pushing forward more towards his goal, is in their episode no, it's episode 4 in the anime, chapter 1 in the manga, I believe. With Shanks and the villains, and him becoming more like Shanks. And then from that moment, Luffy was set as a pillar. The second that scar was put into his face, he became a person that would strive for his own ideals, even if it meant death, even if it meant that he would be disrespected because of them, like in Jaya with Bellamy the hyena. I am getting a little bit off topic now because I wanted to talk about how, uh, as a pillar, he can take these characters who've had traumatic pasts and push them past their point. He is a catalyst for the characters he meets to earn that final victory in their world. He's the reason why Robin shouted out, "I want to live." He is the reason why Frankie finally decided to head out on that journey. The journey to see the next king of the pirates. He's the reason why Nami stepped on his ship to finally make the map of the world. Because he is a catalyst for other characters' development. Which is why Oda has crafted such a brilliant story with a pillar character shaping the crewmates around him. It is masterfully done. And with this format, you can pretty much have any type of story fit into this malleable world of different islands, which are microcosms of themselves. It's such a great way to have smaller stories isolated from the rest of the world and having Luffy have a positive effect in these situations. And keeping it fresh and interesting as you move forward with the story. This is why One Piece does such a good job at staying interesting, fun, fresh, and it sets limits for the strength of the world. Even if Luffy becomes the Pirate King, there will still be other interesting stories happening in the South Blue, East Blue, West Blue, North Blue, on the Grand Line, in the New World, in Paradise, in the Sky Islands, on the moons. It's such a brilliant way to craft a story where you have the main characters constantly skyrocketing towards a goal while having them not seem like the most overpowered entities in the world. And I feel like that's where I'm going to end the video today. I did start mixing points, but I do think I pushed towards a single goal in the end. All of these videos are non-scripted. They're all off the cuff. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It means a lot to me, and it shows me that you like this kind of content. If you guys want to see more One Piece videos, leave a comment on something I can talk about, or your favorite One Piece character. Who's your favorite Straw Hat? Leave a comment saying who's your favorite Straw Hat. Uh, yeah. Subscribe, like, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.